Cause I be sparking and rushing mad like inside the dark. Call me Will Snatcher, just a brother for the rapture. I hang live, holding on strong, hard to capture. Extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a convict and start killing. It's manifesting. The gods work like appliances, dealing in my same like a lot.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto Naruto Next Generations discussion. Today, we're going to be doing a bit of a follow-up to the events of Boruto Chapter 70, and today I wanted to discuss the implications of Code taking Amado back to his hideout in the Land of Snow and having his limiters removed at last. As we all know, Code got his limiters removed and gave every Jujutsu Kaisen fan everywhere who was reading the Boruto manga chapter a severe heart attack, because it's been 2.5 years since Gojo's last been in the Jujutsu Kaisen manga, and here we got Code doing his best Gojo impersonation in the chapter with those long eyelashes and that white hair. However, jokes aside, what I like about this is that it sets up a very important conversation in the fandom that needs to take place, which is, will Sasuke take Boruto with him to fight against Code? Now, I don't think that this is too crazy to ask, but it's very dangerous. Right now, Sasuke knows exactly where Code's hideout is. He knows the specifics of the hideout and the geographical surroundings, which are going to be key when it comes to formulating a plan. He also has access to Shikamaru, who's been briefed by Amado on how Ada's powers and abilities work. Shikamaru even knows the weaknesses of the jutsu, and based off the events of the last chapter, Shikamaru also has another key bit of information that Sasuke is going to use in formulating the plan, which is Ada's ability also has a range to it. We saw it in this chapter. Nobody on the other side of the door appeared to be affected by her jutsu, which means that the assumption I made when we first saw her appear in the manga when she came out of her chamber is true. She needs to have eye contact for her enchantment powers to work. Once the eye contact is made, you're essentially screwed. Naruto nor Sasuke laid eyes on her. Neither was affected by her jutsu, despite being maybe like 100 feet away. That's going to be important intel to keep in mind. Having Sasuke take Boruto with them to go after Code isn't the craziest thing either. Boruto is able to deal with Ada, since he's the only one capable of fighting her, leaving Sasuke to fight against Code. Now, the problem here is that if you're Sasuke, you're essentially hoping to be able to hold Code off long enough for Boruto to fight and defeat Ada, given Code's already cocky personality and tendency to play around with those who are weaker than him. It's not too wild to say that he makes that mistake against Sasuke, especially now that Sasuke's been depowered after losing the Rinnegan because Momoshiki made the Rinnegan go poke poke.
Shut your
Code's gonna beat Sasuke down while drinking Sakura Co's tea, who's also today's sponsor. This video is gonna be brought to you by Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. With Tokyo Treat, you're gonna get up to 20 of the latest and most exclusive, limited edition, and seasonal flavored Japanese snacks that are only available in Japan for a limited time. With Sakura Co's box, you're gonna get 20 traditional and authentic artisan Japanese snacks that include Japanese teas and one special Japanese tableware with your box every month. Another interesting note about Sakura Co is that they partner with local Japanese snack makers to continue to share Japanese culture and traditions that have been passed down for over 100 years. Tokyo Treat Snack Box this month has the theme of Snack in Shibuya and is piled with exclusive pop culture snacks found from all around downtown Tokyo. The snacks include the Matcha Thunder and the Caramel Popcorn Soda. Sakura Co's theme this month is a taste of Hokkaido and is packed with authentic Hokkaido tea and delights. As a hardcore Naruto fan, seeing the shrimp senbei grabbed my attention right away because, like any good Naruto fan knows, you know that the Uchiha clan had their senbei shop in the village. Trying this out was an absolute must for me. This month you also get a very beautiful 4-season soup bowl. Both Sakura Co and Tokyo Treats boxes include very informative booklets on not just the items in the box, but also interesting tidbits as well. As a dog lover, the story of Hachiko really tugged at my heartstrings enough that I want to visit Shibuya just to see the statue is built for him. Reading about the history of Hokkaido opening its ports up for trading was really good for me as somebody that is a lore and a history geek. Check out my link in the description box and the pinned comment in order to order either a Tokyo Treat box or a Sakura Co box, and use my promo code EXPLAIN to get $5 $50 off your first order. Order now because this month's boxes have to be ordered before the 31st of this month. Thanks again to Sakura Co and Tokyo Treat for sponsoring today's video. In the last manga chapter, Code has been shown arrogantly stating that he has so much power now that he can't ever lose a fight anymore. That's troubling for one reason. When you give somebody as arrogant and playful as Code that much power to the point where he believes himself to be untouchable, that's when somebody gets touched. We saw how when he fought against Kawaki, instead of taking the effort to knock Kawaki out and forcibly take him through the claw marks to meet Ada, Code took his sweet time toying with him, which led to Boruto showing up. Instead of taking the effort needed to yeet Boruto across the forest and knock him out, Code played around with him because the idea of fighting against a shinobi was so much fun to him and it intrigued him. It also intrigued him to see the power of an Otsutsuki's vessel. In response to this arrogance and to this playful nature, his overconfidence woke up Momoshiki, who then proceeded to show him the power that was used to kill Boro, which absolutely made Code crap himself. Now we have Code, who is literally at the height of his powers, complete with a physical transformation and a surge of new power, and he's already bragging about the fact that he won't ever lose a fight again. This is troubling, and it's because it's the classic shonen cliche of the overconfident villain, which Code is showing a lot of signs of right now. Sasuke might be weaker than Code. He's a lot weaker than Code right now, but Sasuke was also a lot weaker than Jigen. Jigen, however, quickly shifted his focus from Naruto being the one that he was concerned with to Sasuke being the one that he was going to target first. Ishiki Otsutsuki, once he was revived, made it a point to keep Naruto and Sasuke from fighting alongside one another for an extended period of time, and he made Sasuke a human surfboard during that fight in order to make an effort to keep Sasuke out of the battle. The reason being that fighting Sasuke for a prolonged period of time, regardless as to who you are, is a bad idea, because as Sasuke gathers intel, Sasuke finds countermeasures to attack you, and given how quickly Momoshiki was able to discern that Code cannot absorb jutsu, you can believe that Sasuke's gonna figure that out very quickly, and Sasuke's going to begin starting to find ways to use Blaze Release. Now, going into this fight, Sasuke will already have some intel on Code's claw marks. He will also have an expectation of a power level to fight him because he's already fought against Jigen before, and he has intel on Ada's Rinnegan powers. Now, Sasuke also has the location of his target. That's a lot of intel to give Sasuke, especially when it comes to prep time, and he's got his mind made up on killing someone. And to understand why, we have to go back to Sasuke during the events of the 5 Kage Summit. Now, contrary to popular belief, Sasuke in the 5 Kage Summit wasn't somebody who's just bloodthirsty to the point where he wasn't thinking logically. Going into the summit, Sasuke had already come up with a whole assassination plot to have Danzo killed. The reason why is that Sasuke had to go all half-baked and Rambo style during the summit because Obito betrayed him on purpose by ordering Zetsu to appear in front of the 5 Kage and announce that Sasuke was at the summit, which completely blew Sasuke's cover and forced him out of hiding and forced him to battle against the Kage and their attendants and against the samurai. Now that Sasuke has a location, he's got a target, he's got knowledge about their powers, info on the weaknesses of Code and Ada, all that's going to be left is to come up with a plan and to carry it out. This obviously comes with 2 main dangers. Number 1, you're going to have Sasuke taking Boruto into the heart of the lion's den, where Code literally wants to capture Boruto and feed him into the Ten Tails. That's a really big danger to take. Code right now, in theory, should not have anyone stopping him from doing so, except for Code himself, which goes back to his arrogance being used against him and leading to a potential downfall. However, right now, realistically, there should be nobody who could stop Code. Now, the other issue that you run into is that right now, Boruto and Kawaki, they're not strong enough to do what needs to be done. Amado's words pretty much made it clear in the manga chapter that Boruto and Kawaki both right now need to be trained up if they hope to take down Code, and Amado was clearly referring to Code without his limiters. Ada is only good at taijutsu, but we're now in a Sakura Haruno situation where all that's needed is one serious hit when she's deadly serious, and you're gonna feel some major, if not lethal pain, because Ada, Daemon, and now Code without limiters have power levels beyond Jigen. Then if you're fighting Ada, you also have Daemon to worry about, unless Ada gave Daemon some animal crackers and he fell asleep in her lap watching Paw Patrol. You now have the issue of Daemon and his reflection ability, which throws back any attacks regardless as if they're armed with bloodlust or not. It comes down to, does Boruto have immunity to the jutsu since he's Otsutsuki? I mean, it's possible. Hell, to the point where I think that it's very likely that the weakness to Daemon's jutsu, just like Ada's enchantment, is going to be having Otsutsuki blood or being blood related. However, at the end of the day, the main issue that we're going to run into here is that, does Code fight Sasuke seriously? And if so, how quickly does he fold Sasuke up? Or does he make the mistake of just torturing Sasuke because he wants to get vengeance for Uchiha Otsutsuki? Does Boruto have immunity to Daemon's reflection ability since he's an Otsutsuki now? It's possible. If their mission to rescue Yamato fails, is Sasuke going to be willing to count on Boruto's ability to open up portals in an effort to escape, or is that going to be too much of a fluke to have to rely on something like that? Those questions right there are why, even though it feels like we might be seeing Boruto and Sasuke team up against Code, I don't think it's super likely. However, I could be wrong. However, I want to know from you guys, do you guys think that Boruto and Sasuke versus what I'm going to be calling unlimited Code from now on is going to happen? And what degree of difficulty do you think it will require? What is the main goal of a fight like that? Let me know down in the comment section below. So always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.